Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Deanna Witkowski, pianist, composer, band leader, and award-winning author of Mary Lou Williams' Music for the Soul. Deanna is here to show us how to craft jazz hymn arrangements for congregational singing.
Thanks, Daniel, and hi everyone. Well, first I want to make sure that we understand what congregational singing is. So I'm just using the word congregational in place of group singing. So this is something that I did on my recording, Makes the Heart to Sing Jazz Hymns. I took about 12 very traditional, well-known hymn tunes that groups of people, usually in church settings, so we call them congregations, sing. And I wanted to do jazz arrangements of these tunes because often these tunes would get sung every week or many times over and over and over. And we're sort of used to hearing the same thing and all the text goes by really quick. So I wanted to add an element of surprise and also allow everyone to participate together. So have jazz instrumentalists and say untrained or trained singers in the pews, shall we say, singing together. So the first thing I do is I start by looking at what the congregation might see. So in the first slide, I have here the melody to a hymn tune, a Welsh tune from the 19th century called Hyfrydol. You see that on the top right side. And the text that's often sung to this is called Love Divine, All Loves Excelling. Now here we just see the melody and we see there's a ton of texts. And there's 3 different verses, and there's no rests. That's one of the main things to notice in hymn tunes, is there's usually not spots that are really written for the group or the congregation to breathe. So the first thing that I do is I actually think about the text and the lengths of the phrases, which are usually 4 bars. That's kind of hard to see in this example, but we just have a set of 4 bar, 4 bar, 4 bar, 4 bar, etc. So what I did was I first taught to myself, I would say the text to the first phrase, love divine, all loves excelling, and then perhaps sing it with the rhythm there. And then think about perhaps on that first phrase, I could elongate the phrase. So I do this, as you see in the second slide. I have a lead sheet of this same tune. You see it's the same melody. But here on the first line and on the third line, I've taken that 4 bar chunk, 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 and I've added 2 bars and elongated it. Now you also see harmony is something I've changed here. So usually this tune, it's in the key of F, and frankly, it doesn't have too much more going for it than an F chord and a C7 chord. It's like tonic dominant or variations thereof pretty much all the way. But I've changed this a lot. So if you look at letter A, it starts on the tonic on F major, and we don't get back to that tonic until that last measure of letter A in measure 20. So again, this is usually a 16 bar phrase. Now it's a 20 bar phrase, and the harmony is changing in between. So already I've changed this up. This is really different than if you look at the last 4 bars, just the last line of the lead sheet, and you see it's basically an extended 2-5. And the reason that I do that there to have functional harmony is because if you remember, there's 3 verses in this particular version of the hymn tune that the congregation is singing, and I want them to be able to actually hear a 5 going back to the tonic chord, to the 1 at the top, so that they feel confident in coming back in with their vocal. So let's take a listen first to my trio playing 1 verse of Love Divine. way that I try to make these hymn arrangements accessible, because I want other people who are not necessarily jazz musicians to be able to play this music and share this music with their communities, is I create piano vocal scores. So we're going to look at another slide that just shows an excerpt of a fully realized piano score. I have to say that I don't enjoy making piano parts because it really takes a lot of conscious thinking about what someone else is going to be able to play. I don't expect them to play, of course, as a jazz player, nor do I want them to play exactly what I'm going to play as a jazz pianist, but I at least want them to get a sense of the voicings, of perhaps the rhythmic nature of the tune. And again, this is all in support of the melodic line that the congregation is singing. So now we're going to see if this really works. So we're going to look at a video clip from a few weeks ago. At Syracuse University, I did a residency with the Hendricks Chapel Choir and my jazz trio. And in our final concert, I also invited the audience or the congregation to sing with us. So we're going to hear one verse with everyone singing, and then an interlude, which is basically me soloing through the tune, and then everyone coming back in. This is something you'll try, whether you're using hymn tunes or another really well-known tune that groups of people can sing, because it creates a sense of community and allows your, say, audience or your congregation to participate with you by singing. Thanks.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.